Good day, it's the Amateur Gardener, and today we'll be talking about these gorgeous orchids, the French hydrangea. Okay, so we went on a road trip to look for our lovely hydrangeas. And there are a lot of stores here on Emilio Aguinaldo Highway in Silang, Cavite. They're on the side of the highway, so you don't have to make an effort to look for them. They're just right there. And there's so many plants to choose from. Now, there are a lot of trees though in the middle of the road, so you may want to be a bit careful. I don't know why they're there, but they are. So yeah, just be careful, okay? And we're here just a few kilometers down the highway, and we are here where the bigger stores are. So many plants to choose from, so many colorful flowers also to choose from, so it's a bit dizzying, but I've come here with a purpose, and that's for the hydrangeas. There they are. Can you see the cosmos and the sunflowers? What are these, zinnias? I'm not sure. Bougainvilleas in so many colors. And that's the highway. To the right would be Tagaytay if you go down a few kilometers from here. Now this is the store where I'm getting my hydrangeas from. And when buying hydrangeas, aren't they lovely? Try to get the ones with tighter buds so that you can enjoy them for a longer period of time. It's so beautiful. Okay, so now I'm just taking one last look before I go home. Look at those bougainvilleas in orange and red and fuchsia. And is that purple or lilac? I'm not sure. If you have time, try and come here. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. There's so much to see and so many people to talk to. Now it's time to go home. The French hydrangea's botanical name is Hydrangea macrophylla. It also goes by the name big leaf hydrangea. These are among its many names. Okay, when you see your hydrangea wilting, these are the causes: warm temperature, prolonged sun exposure, or the soil is just too dried out. In this case, the soil was too dried out. And we watered it, and this is what happened the next day. So don't lose hope. I called my friend to tell her that my gift for her, it lived after watering it twice. Okay, so these are the things you'll be needing for potting. First, of course, will be our soil and the soil amendments, aside from the plant, obviously, and our shovel, a shovel, and your garden shears and a pot. First up, the soil. I'm using a potting soil, some kind of potting soil here. You can use an amendment garden soil. It cannot be planted in heavy soils. Hydrangeas like rich soil that is moist but well drained. So soil amendments are important if it's heavy, if your soil is heavy. Amend with organic matter like manure, cocoa peat, rice husks, compost, wood chips. All these things will make your soil richer and at the same time a bit more loose, so the water can drain well. Now, adding perlite or sand can help improve drainage when potting hydrangeas. If you're planting over a large area, you may want to use sand since it's more economical than perlite. But both will do, either or both. Sunlight. French hydrangeas love the sun, but they can only take so much of it. They prefer morning sun and afternoon shade, maybe 6 hours in cooler places, 3 hours only for warmer places. Deadheading. Deadheading your hydrangeas will help your plant produce more blooms during the blooming period. Let's say you have a flower that's already dried up or wilting, you can cut the stem below the flower and just above the first two leaves, and this will help produce more blooms into the fall. Now, pruning is tricky when it comes to hydrangeas. Just trim off the dead, weak stems as close as possible to the base, and try to keep as many old wood stems as possible because that's where they will bloom next year. Old wood is basically wood or stems that were already there last summer, so they don't bloom on new stems. Now, trim in summer or right after the blooms have wilted, but not in the fall. You might cut out dormant buds and lessen next year's blooms. You see the roots? Okay, that's a condition called root bound, when they're going around in circles and they're too tight already, and they can strangle the plant and eventually the plant will die. So I'm doing something shocking here. For some, I'm going to cut in a cross pattern, but only to a third of the plant's height, root ball height rather. Just cutting the finer roots and opening it up a bit, but not the bigger roots or I might kill the plant. Okay, and this will open up the roots and help it grow outward and downward instead of just around in circles and continue strangling the plant. Okay, you may want to add mulch on the lower portion of the pot to help maintain moisture. In my case, I'm using soil and organic matter, which is used for mulching. You can do that too. Non-porous pots are preferred by some. Now I'm opting for a porous pot because when the rains come, I don't want my hydrangea to drown in all of that rainwater. The pot size. The pot should be bigger than the former container by 3 inches. This is only bigger by 2 inches because this is all I have. Sorry, my friend. I'll be asking her to repot it after a few months. And then have the soil at least 2 inches lower than the rim. Sometimes I make it level because after watering it for a couple of days, it tends to lower and when it's a little bit more compacted. Watering can be a bit tricky. French hydrangeas need a lot of water. Basically, just water it when it's first top inch is dry soil. Some may survive 3 times a week, deep waterings in cooler places, and some may need it twice daily or once daily depending on how warm it is. In this case, right now we're in the 20s, so I can water it once a day. But once we hit the hotter, warmer 30s, we'll be probably watering our hydrangeas twice a day. So it depends on where you live. These are just guides, you know. If you're planting on the ground, it's a different story. Now we'll be digging up a hole for your hydrangea. We base the size of the hole on the size of the root ball. Now simply get the width of your root ball, add a foot around the root ball, so that's a total of 2 feet. And then for its depth, get the height of the root ball, add 3 to 4 inches to that for some space for your mulch, and then dig that hole. And that will be the hole for your hydrangea. Add mulch, that's optional, to the first 3-4 inches so you can have, you know, more moisture for your newly planted hydrangeas. And then make sure the top of the root ball is flush or even with the ground. And then put some mulch. You can have it a little higher towards the stems of the hydrangeas so that water doesn't accumulate there. And you have happy hydrangeas. Okay, so deadheading. This is a different kind. This is for aesthetic purposes. The other one was to increase blooms. When you're deadheading for aesthetic purposes, you're not really cutting the whole inflorescence, which is the cluster of flowers. You're just cutting off individual flowers in the inflorescence or in the beautiful big bunch of flowers. Okay, so you're just taking it out because sometimes people tend to focus on the wilted ones and they say, oh, it's wilting. And you know, they don't get to see how beautiful the other flowers still are, and that's a new cluster of flowers waiting to bloom. And so all you do is just, you know, take out those little dried up ones and it will be pretty again. It's pretty much like life, you know. Don't focus too much on the negatives and count your blessings, and you'll see all the pretty ones that are still there. See, I'll be putting this in my journal. Isn't it pretty? Cute. Okay, so this is the new cluster that's waiting to bloom. Now the colors of French hydrangeas depend on the soil's pH. Alkaline soils with high pH tend to have pink flowers. To change its color to blue, just add aluminum sulfate to the soil in the fall or spring. Now, soils with low pH levels, acid soils, tend to have blue flowers. If you want to change its color to pink, just add lime to your soil to raise the pH levels and start adding this in the fall or spring as well. Now, although they have the name French hydrangea, these hydrangeas in particular are actually native to the eastern coast of Japan, and they are among the many kinds of hydrangeas there are in the world. Ajisai, as they are known in Japan, bloom abundantly in the month of June and even sometimes July, which is their rainy season. It has an average height of 4 to 6 feet and a spread of 4 to 6 feet as well, so they do need space. Their best temperature range is between 18 to 28 degrees Celsius. And this is the hydrangea macrophylla. This is a power-packed video full of information, and we hope you enjoyed it. And as always, we hope that you will have a great day. God bless.